Hi, everyone. So we're back with another edition of Alumni Chat. And, I'm Ian Heffley, Admissions Counselor for Africa and the Middle East here. And today I'm joined by one of our alumni from our Tunisia Emerging Identities in North Africa program. So Eva, would you like to introduce yourself for a moment, please?
Sure. My name is Eva Miller. I'm currently a senior at Sewanee University in Tennessee. My major is International Global Studies with a minor in religion, and I studied abroad in Tunisia during the spring semester of 2016. And
Well,
in fact, I stayed over for the summer, so spring and summer semesters.
so you just got back from Tunisia, huh?
I got back on August 1st to America.
Very nice. Very nice. So thank you. I know senior year at any school can be rather busy and you're starting up again. So I'll jump right into it here. So what really made you decide on studying abroad in Tunisia and the SIT Tunisia program?
Well, I had wanted to go to Tunisia for a long time because of my major at Sewanee is a focus in the Middle East with cultural and societal studies. And Tunisia had always been a place that really stuck out to me. I speak French and knew that it was a Francophone country and really wanted to be able to use those skills in a part of the world that was very foreign to me. And so I was always starting to consider where to study abroad. Tunisia, of course, was at the top of my list. And actually the most suggested program to me by all of my faculty advisors, all of my peers, was SIT Morocco, in fact. And I was planning on doing that because I didn't know that they had a Tunisia program. But as soon as I started looking into it, SIT really stood out to me as a program that I would really want to do because of the independent study aspect at the end of it, which was something that I had never really done before. But I'm looking at going into independent research, so it really made a help in my experience in that way. So when I heard about SIT Tunisia, it just seemed like the perfect fit.
And now I do remember having that conversation with you way back when. So
I'm very excited about it.
yeah. I am very glad that it worked out so well for you. So now, you mentioned a couple different aspects of the SIT Tunisia program, mainly the independent study project. But if you had to choose one aspect of the program that you mentioned, or maybe didn't mention, as your favorite, what would that be?
Of the program in general, there were so many. It really was the best semester of my undergraduate career and perhaps of my life that I can remember. It was really an incredible experience. The academic director made a huge impact on my experience in Tunisia. Munir Khalifa, he was an amazing man who was helpful in every possible way, helpful with getting us used to our homestays, helpful with our classes. Even if they weren't with him, he was always more than willing to help. But then also, I think the independent study project at the end was really most beneficial for me academically because it was a very good way of learning how to do research on-site, social study research, if that's what you're looking for, and which is what I was looking for. And, you know, having the support system the whole way. There were times when I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I was running in circles. I wasn't getting the interviews that I wanted. And my teachers, the other people working with SIT Tunisia there, they were so helpful in just really getting me through that time and saying, here's my advice. It's not necessarily what you have to do, but it's maybe a suggestion. And I really figured out my own way of working things out, but I had the best help that there was. So I think the two combined actually might have been.
No fair, I asked for one. No, I'm joking. So now, If you want to go a little deeper into what your ISP topic was, I'm sure anyone who will view this in the future would really like to hear about it. And also, are you planning on continuing that study since you did stay over in Tunisia during the summer and now you're back at Sewanee? Are you going to be continuing that study there?
Yeah, well, actually, continuing that research has been a very serious prospect for me for after graduation. I did my research on Jewish communities in Tunisia, which is actually a very, very interesting subject. The community there has been there since 500 BC, way before Tunisia was the Islamic State that it is now. It's got a very interesting history. So during the independent study project, I was doing my research in Tunis, where we were based for SIT. And then over the summer, I actually received a grant from my own school to stay the summer and continue that research in a separate area of Tunisia. And even during the summer, I had contact with the academic director for SIT Tunisia. I would not have been able to do that grant, that project through my school if I hadn't done SIT, because that was really the way that I learned how to do that independent research. And it just blew by. I really fell in love with doing this research, with talking with all of these people. My research was mainly interview based. The data that I collected was mostly from people that I was talking to. And it was just a really wonderful introduction on how to do independent research.
Now, that other section of Tunisia that you went to, was it Djerba?
It was. For those who may be interested in Tunisian geography, Djerba is an island just off the coast of Tunisia, about 50 kilometers to the west of the Libyan border. And actually, interestingly enough, while I was on Djerba doing some of my research, there were some scuffles happening in Ben Gurden, a city just next to the Libyan border, but in between Libya and Djerba. And I was on Djerba at the time of a Jewish pilgrimage, and so there were lots of Israelis and French people, some Americans. There were people from all over on this island, and we all know that this was going on, but we felt very secure. I think one thing that's, and this may be going completely off topic, but it's something that I feel that I need to mention in any time that I talk about Tunisia, is how secure I felt when I was on Djerba, speaking with all of these people from all over the world during this time, sort of insecurity, one might say, in traveling. I felt very, very safe, even though this was going on very close to where I was physically. It never seemed to be worrying for anybody around me, and didn't worry me either.
That's very good to hear. I know all the Tunisians that I work with, and some Tunisians that do come here to our main campus in Vermont, are constantly saying how secure they feel at home. And it's good to hear that from somebody who has been there as well. So let's change topics a little bit. As you know, on our experiential learning programs, we do tend to keep them quite small. We do that intentionally to give you a really intimate, personalized experiential learning environment. But that also means a lot of people don't know who we are or have heard of us. So how would you explain in one or two sentences what SIT is?
Oh, wow. SIT is an academic program that doesn't make it feel like an academic program to go abroad. You're in classes, but you're so involved in your on-site experience and what you're learning where you are, that your classes don't really feel like classes. They feel more like you're just learning everything that you want to learn, because this is a place in the world that you've never been, maybe, and you want to learn everything that you can about it. And SIT is a really wonderful way to do that, because you're still getting academic credit, you're still learning through an academic environment, and yet you're so involved in what it is that you're learning, that you're experiencing, that it it sort of just felt like what I would have wanted to do if I hadn't gone for any academic reason at all.
Thank you very much. That was a very succinct and to the point explanation of us. So as we're nearing the end of this little interview today, I wanted to ask you if you have anything that you would like to say to the student who's out there watching this in the future, who's contemplating studying abroad in the region or in Tunisia or just in general, if you could give them that extra little push to get them over there and press the submit button, what would that word of advice be?
Do it. I don't think that my life would be the same if I hadn't studied abroad, and I can say the same for everyone that I know that studied abroad with any other program, with any country. Study abroad, just do it. It's an amazing experience. It's something that if you go into grad school, into the job market right after school, you may never get this opportunity again. And really, studying abroad is an incredible experience. It's something that will change you in ways that you wouldn't expect. Even if it's a place that feels just like home, you'll meet such new people, you'll be in a different environment. It's a really absolutely incredible experience. And I know I'm speaking for that's done study abroad. It can be really terrifying at times. And a lot of people that I know, including myself, had a difficult time at the beginning. But for example, myself, after a week, I was feeling a lot better. And in the great scheme of things, a week during the time of 3 or 4 months is really nothing. It's for the experience that you get feeling at home in a completely different part of the world. Since I've been back, which hasn't been very long, I've been thinking about what would I be doing right now if I were still in Tunisia? And I get very nostalgic. But it's a good type of nostalgia because I'm here, I'm with my friends, I'm enjoying myself, I'm in my normal life. I have one more year of school. And yet I know I'm going to go back to Tunisia. I know I'm going to go back and visit my friends. And I know which one of them I'm going to ask to cook my first meal. And I know all of these things because it's a place that means so much to me. And in my experience, I've done a fair amount of traveling, but the study abroad opportunity gives you such a good period of time in which you can really feel at home in a place. And having two homes is better than one because it just means that you have double of these amazing, incredible, important things to you. It doesn't mean that you have half of each, which I feel like some people feel like, oh, my home won't mean so much to me if I have two of them. But actually, it just doubles. It's a really incredible experience to have multiple places where you just feel like you really belong. So
that is exactly why I still do what I do here as well. So thank you very much again for taking some time this morning, and I'll make sure that Dr. Khalifa Munir knows that we talked, okay?
Sure, yeah, tell him hi.
I will, and make sure you keep in touch with us because we'd love to hear what our alumni are up to, okay?
Definitely. Well, I am
all right.
You just soon.
Okay. Well, you have a good rest of your morning then.
Yeah.